The date is set, June 28, 2025. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. stands before us, a figure both familiar and changed. He's back in the spotlight, ready to face another challenge. Once he was the lean champion, a force to be reckoned with in the ring. He carried the weight of expectation with a youthful swagger. But now, he's a man marked by battles inside and outside the ring. The years have etched stories onto his face, tales of triumph and tribulation. The questions surrounding him are louder than ever, a constant hum of speculation and doubt. Is he truly training with the dedication required? Is he focused on the task at hand, mentally and emotionally prepared for the fight? Does he still possess the fire, that burning desire to compete and conquer? Has the flame dwindled, or does it still flicker within? One day, he looks sharp and formidable in training videos, a glimpse of the old champion. The next, rumors swirl about missed sessions and old habits resurfacing, casting a shadow of uncertainty. This isn't just a comeback for Chavez Jr., it's another chapter in a complicated saga, a narrative filled with highs and lows. Chavez Jr. isn't just fighting Jake Paul in this match, he's fighting his own history, battling the demons of his past, and trying to escape the long shadow of a legendary name. Every move is scrutinized under the microscope of public opinion, every word analyzed for hidden meaning. Which version of Jr. will show up on fight night, the disciplined athlete or the troubled soul? For Jake Paul, this is a golden opportunity, a chance to add a big and recognizable name to his burgeoning boxing resume. But for Chavez Jr., the stakes are immeasurably higher. It's about respect, reclaiming his legacy, and rediscovering his own self-worth in the eyes of the world and, more importantly, himself. His father, the legendary Chavez Sr., remains a constant presence in his corner, offering guidance and support. It's both a blessing to have such a figure by his side and a burden to carry the weight of that legacy. As he prepares for this pivotal fight, Chavez Jr. isn't just training his body to endure the physical demands of the sport. He's battling the ghosts of his past, confronting the regrets and disappointments that have haunted him. The real question that hangs in the air: can he finally conquer the opponent in the mirror, overcoming his inner demons and proving to himself that he still has what it takes? To understand Chavez Jr., you must understand his last name, Mexican boxing royalty. His father, Chavez Sr., is a national hero, a legend with a record that's the stuff of myth. Jr. was born into privilege and pressure, carrying a golden crown he never asked for. Every jab, every fight was measured against his father's impossible standard. If he won, it was expected. If he lost, it was a national disappointment. Boxing wasn't his escape. It was his birthright, a destiny written before he could choose. He grew up in luxury, but always in the shadow of his father's fame. The Chavez name opened doors, but also painted a target on his back. Every opponent wanted to beat the son of a legend. Every fan compared him to his father. He fought not just rivals, but the ghost of a perfect past. The burden of legacy proved as heavy as any championship belt. Despite the immense pressure that came with his name, the expectations that weighed heavily on his shoulders, Chavez Jr. had moments, fleeting glimpses, where he seemed destined for true greatness, a star in his own right. He captured the WBC middleweight title in 2011, a hard-fought victory that suggested a bright future, stepping, at least temporarily, out of the long shadow cast by his legendary father, if only briefly, a moment of individual triumph. His title reign drew huge, roaring crowds, captivated by his fighting style and the allure of his name, and his stunning knockout of Andy Lee showcased his raw power, his undeniable heart, and his potential to dominate the division. But these highs, these moments of glory, didn't last. They proved to be ephemeral. In 2012, he faced Sergio Martinez and ultimately lost, after being thoroughly outclassed for 11 grueling rounds. A boxing lesson delivered in the ring, nearly miraculously, pulling off an improbable comeback in a dramatic, unforgettable 12th round. That single fight, a microcosm of his career, starkly revealed both his inherent flaws and his undeniable warrior spirit, his refusal to quit. Afterward, a frustrating inconsistency came to define his career, a roller coaster of performances, wins often overshadowed by controversy, questionable decisions, and a growing sense of unfulfilled potential, compounded by a one-sided dominant loss to Canelo Alvarez, a clear indication of the gap between them, and a disheartening quit against Daniel Jacobs, a moment that raised serious questions about his commitment. Persistent weight issues, a visible lack of motivation in training, and increasingly frequent whispers of addiction began to follow him, casting a dark shadow. The once celebrated champion, who once shone so brightly under the spotlight, gradually faded into a disheartening cycle of brief, fleeting triumphs, punctuated by very public failures and disappointments. The dizzying heights of his early career became distant, almost dreamlike memories, fading with each passing year. The crushing lows, in stark contrast, were painfully public, magnified by the media and the expectations of a demanding fan base. Each setback, each loss, chipped away at his legacy, tarnishing the image of the fighter he once promised to be. The boxing world watched with a mixture of concern and morbid fascination, wondering if he would ever be able to reclaim his former glory, or if his best days were firmly behind him. For Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., the dramatic fall from grace was as precipitous and as widely observed as his initial promising rise to the top. To understand Chavez Jr.'s struggles, look beyond the ring, into a home marked by his father's battle with addiction. Chavez Sr. was a hero in the ring, but fought a losing battle with alcohol and cocaine outside it. Jr. grew up amid chaos, witnessing firsthand the toll addiction took on his idol. The love was there, but often filtered through the haze of addiction. This legacy didn't skip a generation. Chavez Jr. has battled his own demons, including substance abuse and diet pill addiction. These struggles have fueled his inconsistency and discipline issues. His fight has always been on two fronts, against his opponent and against himself. The father-son relationship is a mix of love, pride, frustration, and disappointment. Chavez Sr. has been both supporter and critic, urging his son to respect the sport and himself. For Chavez Jr., the fight against addiction is as real and as hard as any bout in the ring. Chavez Jr.'s toughest opponent has always been himself, his own motivation. When focused, he's a formidable force, but dedication has been fleeting, lost to apathy and indiscipline. Stories from training camps are legendary for the wrong reasons, missed sessions, nights out, and a lack of commitment. Freddie Roach, his former trainer, finally walked away frustrated by wasted potential. This isn't simple laziness, it's a complex mix of privilege, rebellion, and personal demons. The internal battle has cost him titles, big fights, and respect. Now, as he prepares for Jake Paul, the same questions linger. Is this time different? Training videos spark skepticism. We've seen flashes of dedication before, only to be followed by setbacks. The real fight is daily choosing discipline over old habits. Before he can beat Jake Paul, he must win the silent war within. The outcome depends on which Chavez Jr. shows up. The world waits, hoping for a fighter reborn. The Jake Paul press conference, a spectacle in itself, was more than just a media event. It was a carefully orchestrated performance, designed to build hype and anticipation for the upcoming fight. It was as much theater as sport, a clash of personalities and narratives playing out under the bright lights. The atmosphere was thick with tension, a palpable sense of anticipation hanging in the air. Paul, a master promoter, knew exactly how to command the stage and control the narrative. He reveled in the spotlight, his confidence radiating outwards. He taunted Chavez Jr. relentlessly, pushing his buttons and trying to get under his skin. He peppered him with reminders of his past failures and personal struggles, twisting the knife with each carefully chosen word. Jr., in response, seemed strangely detached, almost indifferent to the barrage of insults. It was as if he'd heard it all before, the barbs losing their sting with each repetition. He appeared weary, perhaps resigned to his fate. But Paul's attacks weren't just personal. They were calculated, aimed at something far deeper. They targeted the Chavez legacy, a name synonymous with boxing greatness. He was attacking not just a man, but an institution. The most powerful moment of the entire press conference came unexpectedly from Chavez Sr., the patriarch of the family. He finally, deliberately, reached for the microphone, his presence commanding immediate respect. He defended his son, not with boasts or excuses, but with raw honesty and vulnerability. He spoke openly and candidly about Junior's struggles with addiction, laying bare the family's pain and challenges. He spoke of the long, arduous fight to turn his son's life around, a battle fought every single day. Chavez Sr. powerfully reframed Junior's struggles, presenting them not as shameful failures or convenient excuses, but as hard-fought battles against a formidable opponent. He expressed immense pride in his son's courage and willingness to face this challenge head-on, despite the immense pressure and scrutiny. In an instant, the narrative shifted dramatically. The entire atmosphere of the press conference underwent a profound change. This was no longer just about a boxing match, a simple contest of skill and strength. It transcended the realm of sport. It became a story about a father's unwavering love and unwavering support for his son, a bond tested by adversity. Chavez Sr. made a heartfelt plea for compassion, not just for his son, but for anyone battling addiction. He reminded everyone that the fight against addiction is a lifelong struggle, a constant battle that requires understanding and empathy. The press conference unexpectedly morphed into a raw and emotional family drama, a glimpse into the personal lives of two boxing legends. It was no longer just a carefully constructed boxing spectacle, but an intimate and revealing moment of human connection. The powerful bond between father and son, a connection that ran deeper than blood, was palpable. This bond, forged in the fires of both immense pain and unwavering pride, was undeniable and deeply moving. In that single powerful moment, the world witnessed the real stakes at play, the true weight of what was on the line. It was about legacy, the weight of a name and the expectations that came with it. It was about redemption, the chance to overcome past mistakes and reclaim a tarnished reputation. And ultimately, it was about the enduring power of love, the unbreakable bond between a father and his son. Why do we still care about Chavez Jr.? Partly it's the magic of his last name, a living link to boxing's golden era. But it's more than that. We're drawn to his vulnerability. Unlike polished athletes, Chavez Jr. has always been unapologetically human. His flaws and failures have played out in public, making his struggle relatable. He's been given every advantage, yet still fights uphill battles, against himself most of all. There's a sense he's trying to turn his life around, returning to the ring for redemption. His persistence, even when inconsistent, strikes a chord with fans. We watch, hoping for that one night when everything clicks. We want to see him honor the Chavez legacy in his own way. His story is a human drama, potential, struggle, and the hope for redemption. We keep watching, believing the final chapter could still surprise us. As the fight with Jake Paul nears, the question remains, which Chavez Jr. will show up? Will it be the determined warrior or the unfocused, unprepared fighter of past disappointments? The stakes are clear. A loss to Paul could end his career as a serious contender. His father's public support may have reignited his motivation, but warning signs persist. A new team, rumors of a shaky camp, and a history of inconsistency. Jake Paul, for all his critics, will be prepared. Can Chavez Jr. truly change in one camp? This fight is old school versus new school, legacy versus self-made star. Paul fights for legitimacy, Chavez Jr. fights for redemption. The world will watch to see if he's truly ready, or if the final bell is about to ring on his career. For Chavez Jr., this is more than a fight. It's a last stand for respect. For Chavez Jr., boxing has always been about more than sport. It's been the currency of love and acceptance. Success brought pride, failure brought disappointment. The pressure to earn his father's approval has driven and haunted him. This fight with Jake Paul is another chance to break the cycle to win on his own terms. A victory won't erase the past, but it could be a step toward personal redemption. The ring is where his life's drama plays out, a son searching for identity, a man fighting addiction, a quest for self-respect. Whether he wins or loses, the struggle continues. For Chavez Jr., the fight has never been just about boxing. It's about love, legacy, and the endless battle to define himself. The world will keep watching because his story is still being written. And for Chavez Jr., the fight never truly ends.